Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. My 38 male's brother and his wife, 33 female, approached us 2 years ago that they had plans to go for IVF and wanted to have a better insight about it from me. I knew they were skeptical since I was not lucky with it, so I offered to pay for them whenever they were ready, knowing how expensive IVF can be. My wife and I adopted our beautiful kids after years of trying for our own that same year. It took us a while to get to this point, and it's been amazing so far. I love my children to bits and cannot imagine my life without them. They're ages 3 and 4 now. We noticed that sister-in-law has always acted weird when she was with my children. Although I chalked up her behavior to the fact that she had no children yet, I was not impressed by her tendency to point out that my children are adopted. We never hid this from them since they had the right to know, but my sister-in-law made sure to remind them every time they do something childish. We warned her about it and even stopped her from seeing the children the 3rd time because I heard her telling my child that no son of our family, who had my great-grandfather's blood in him, would be caught being messy like he was. We came around after she explained that she did not say that to exclude him, but to motivate him to do better. At our last gathering, she announced that she was organizing a fun trip for the children in the family, as she planned to give them a nephew or niece soon. My older brother's children as well as my children were excited. She listed out all the fun activities she planned for them, and to be honest, it sounded exciting. My children planned for days afterward, but on D-Day, she did not show up. We believed her when she told us that she had a busy schedule and told our children the same. But my elder brother's wife told us that it was not true, as sister-in-law had taken her children on the trip. She was surprised to find out that sister-in-law left my children behind. Although I was pissed off, I didn't mention a thing about this until my little nephew let it slip out that sister-in-law had told them that she would form a family playgroup for just them and her unborn children. And my children weren't going to be a part because they're not blood related. He then proceeded to ask me if they aren't his cousins because they don't have the same granddad. Sister-in-law denied ever saying that and accused my nephew of misinterpreting her, and things escalated from there. We were informed that she was fond of saying that she needs the IVF to work because she prefers to give our family a biological child instead of adopting strangers and tainting the family line. She also dislikes our children and has said nasty things about them and their birth parents. My wife and I excused ourselves and left since the whole thing was turning toxic. My brother called afterwards, but he kept making it look like a casual affair, a random gossip, and not something we should take seriously. He never apologized and accused me of being bent on blowing up matters. It was obvious he saw nothing wrong in what she did, and it looked like he shared her beliefs. So I told him that if he considered my children strangers, he should extend the same consideration to me. He said that I should start acting my age and stop overreacting. Then he ended the call. Afterward, he called back to remind me of my promise to pay for their IVF because they had decided that it would be that month. I told him that I wouldn't carry on helping someone who considers my children as strangers, so I will not be assisting them as promised. My sister-in-law and brother have been blowing up my phone since that day. They are now apologizing and calling the incidents a joke. They've tried roping in my other brother and the rest of my family, but I have maintained my stance to not assist them as I earlier promised. My family members think I should forgive them and give them the money, but I won't. I would rather give it to charity. Am I an a-hole for doing this? Update. My brother and his wife went ballistic when they realized that I was resolute in my decision, so they stopped talking to me and have been avoiding me. I don't care. My children are happier since no one is mistreating them or accusing them of not being family. Thank you for your support and encouragement. You're not the a-hole OP. Paying for IVF is like equipping your sister-in-law with exactly what she needs to hurt your kids. She has already made it clear that if the IVF is successful and she has her kids, she would find ways to make your kids feel like they aren't part of the family. Why would you give her money for that? The fact that your brother sees nothing wrong with her behavior is alarming to me. She's the one looking for trouble. She's the one who is being toxic to kids that are just 3 and 4 years old. She doesn't have to want to adopt herself, but she should respect your decision to do so. She should also treat the kids well instead of telling them every chance she gets that they aren't biologically yours. Cutting them out of your life was a very good decision. They don't deserve your help. Story 2. So, growing up, my 26 female's parents didn't really have any money. My childhood was still happy and loving, but I can remember specific instances where things I wanted to do, play hockey, own a bike, just weren't feasible because my parents couldn't pay for it. I started working at 14 and moved out at 18 to, in my mind, ease the load. My mother is a champion. She's worked so hard in her career in the last couple of years. She has become very, very successful and is now worth more money than any of us could fathom. I really can't put into words how incredibly proud I am for all she's accomplished, and I don't think there's anyone that deserves it more. My problem, however, comes in the form of this nagging bitterness that I can't shake. My brother, 22, still lives at home and they're all just having the time of their lives. Expensive dinners, going to the casino, he's got a brand new custom-built PC, and the basement, his room completely redone. Honestly, the list goes on. I went to visit last weekend, and their weekend entertainment is online gambling. So I sat there and watched them lose around $2,000 in bets, and it was just no big deal. If I have more than $100 after payday, I am so goddamn proud of myself. It was mind-blowing. My mom must have noticed I was uncomfortable because she made an account on that site and deposited $50 so we could all have fun together. Now, it's all my mom's money, so how she spends it should not be my concern at all. But I can't stop feeling resentful. On Thursday, she informed me that she, my dad and brother, had booked a weekend to a casino resort, and could I please watch the kitten they just got last week? It just feels like I'm an afterthought because I'm not in the immediate vicinity. I have really awful anxiety and depression, and my mom has been a huge part of my ongoing effort to get well. But since the money, it just feels like she isn't there. Whenever I call just looking to chat and feel better, she can't talk. And if the problem is material, groceries, vet bill, house maintenance, then she offers to pay and assumes the matter is closed. I feel like such a petulant child, but I just want to talk to my mother. I just want to go home and hang out watching YouTube videos like we used to. Not stare at an online slot machine and cheer when we win $5 for 6 hours. I'm so happy for my parents to have the life they've always wanted, but now that it's here, I hate it. I hate feeling so bitter and jealous. I hate going over there and having to use my credit card just to buy a $10 bottle of wine to hang out with my family while they spend thousands on an online game. I guess I'm just looking for advice or strategies to be happy enough with myself that what they do doesn't bother me. Update. It took a few days to digest what a lot of people were saying. At the end of the day, I hoped to approach the situation as me wanting to be close to my family again and basically trying to ignore the money part. For the next couple of weeks, if I wanted to talk to my mother, I made sure to call at a time I knew she wasn't swamped with work, either before she left for the day or before going to bed. And if anything to do with money came up, it was treated as a side note. Oh, Dad won $4,000 last night online? That's awesome for him. Where are you traveling for work tomorrow? Have you been there before? Are you looking forward to it? And she just sort of opened up. I told her how I was feeling slighted, fully addressed the issue, and even told her how I felt the slight favoritism towards my brother, because he was present, was getting to me. My mother is an extremely intelligent woman. Reading back on my posts, I think I stressed this a lot, but she really is. We had our one super feelsy chat and moved on, but she's been going out of her way to show me she's serious this time with actions, not just words. I was over recently, and before she dropped me off at home, we live about an hour away from one another. She stopped at a store and remarked, "Your dad and brother lost $600 last night online. What kind of effed up logic is it that I can't afford to buy you some groceries?" Our upcoming Christmas plans, which I was dreading, are now actual plans. She's picked out a theme for before and after dinner, neither which involve gambling. and is incredibly focused on us spending time away from a computer screen. Our gift exchange is a $20 limit, and she found some games online so that nothing is tailored towards anyone, and we all feel included. She's been providing ideas for the wedding planning and even called me the other day, saying, "Well, you call me all the time and I was thinking about you, so I thought I'd call you, just to chat." Overall, I'm kind of stoked about where this is going. It's only been less than a month, but I've never known my mother to commit to something and not stick with it. So, I'm remaining hopeful. Thanks for all the insight, personal experiences, and words of advice for coping. I read every single one of those comments over and over for weeks, so I figured some kind of update was warranted. OP, I'm glad you were able to get through to your mom. Most times, the parent doesn't change because they feel like the child is overreacting. But your mom seems to be different. She's also been making what seems like an effort to make it up to you, so that's good. The gambling problem remains though, and I think your mom doesn't see it as a problem. Rich people go broke all the time, which is why we all need to manage our money well. Gambling is one of the worst things to do with money. So try and talk to your mom about that too. Your brother and dad need to quit gambling and find something more productive to do with their time. Good luck to you and your family, OP. Now for some comments. Gambling is one of those things that's designed to be so addicting, with the flashing lights and sounds and intermittent rewards, that everything else in life just seems dull. I've seen families sucked into casinos and it's scary as F. Please try to get them help. I'm glad you worked that out. Also from your previous post, I will note that it sounds like your family members are addicted to gambling, which should be easier to discuss should you choose that path now that you and your mom are on even footing again. You shouldn't gloss over the gambling addiction. You should get them some serious help before they end up literally being that original family you remember. Sounds like she might be aware of her own feelings on the activities and maybe didn't know how to express them or feel they were valid too. Maybe she's been having thoughts that their gambling is a little too much and wants to do something besides that, and is relieved you're helping redirect her focus. She may have tried, but it didn't get anywhere with the others, or felt it was useless to try. It sounds like she loves you very much,